Alright, we are finally back to the home tour series, and this time is episode 2, and we will talk about the kitchen. And kitchen, I know most of you have already watched my previous video on the renovation, so today I will just be touching on some appliances, some fittings, and maybe give you a quick intro about this kitchen. Alright, so this kitchen is about 10 foot long. Okay, 10 feet, that is 3 meters. 3 meters long by around 2.5 meters wide. So it's like a squarish layout, which is very typical of HDB homes, especially for BTO. All right, so it's a squarish layout, open concept. This is all given by HDB. We did not knock out any walls, so it came in the default state of open kitchen concept, which is getting more and more popular these days because people do not cook at homes. They see kitchen as more of a display piece, which is not for us, which is why we have this door. I'll talk about the door at the last part of the video. But you see that we have this open concept kitchen, but we want to keep it like semi-closed concept. Alright, so like I said, this is a 10 feet long kitchen, which is why we did a L-shaped kitchen cabinet plus countertop. Okay, if you want the details of the construction, the renovation, and the pricing and all that, I already highlighted in my previous kitchen renovation video, but that was a works in progress, and this is then the completed version. Okay, let's start with I think the left side of this kitchen. So this is like the tall unit. Okay, this tall unit is around $600 worth of carpentry just for this 2 feet length. Plus the curved edges, that's another like $250. And you notice that at this side, we don't have any carpentry because we didn't want to block the walkway. So I think it's very important to, at least for an open concept kitchen, know where you want to place your entryway. Alright, because that would affect the flow of how you want to enter. Some of you may want to enter from the other side. Some of you may want to enter from the door side. Okay, and that will also depend on where your dining table is placed. All this is a lot of things that you need to explore, especially after you gotten your keys lah. Alright, so as we look at this tall unit, we have top and bottom cabinets. Okay, all these have all the soft closing hinges. I think it's very common already. Okay, I don't need to specifically highlight. And you realize that we do not have a built-in oven. We only have a combination oven. So this is a microwave plus oven combination. It has steaming function, but I won't use it for steaming because the capacity is not that large. It's only like 35 liters by Samsung. Okay, and the reason why we chose this standalone oven is because we don't have like existing ovens in our previous homes. So we are not like very big on baking all these things. So we want something that can just microwave, do some small baking, not like big industrial kind of baking stuff. Okay, it does the job, right? It's around $700 to $800 depending on the price that you see. Okay, so it's compact. It's like 4-in-1. You know, you can steam, you can roast, you can bake, you can microwave lah. So that's what we use for our daily driver. Okay, when we want to heat things up. Right, so this is a very useful thing. It comes in 3 colors. If you want to purchase it, I already leave it now in my Shopee or YouTube shopping page. And you realize we need to have this gap of around 10 to 20 cm. Make sure to check your user manual to see how much space is needed for the heat to escape out. I'm not really sure for built-in ovens how they dissipate the heat, but I guess they have their ways. Alright, okay, moving on, I want to talk about this lighting down here. You realize that we have underneath top cabinets LED lighting. So this is what we specifically told the carpenter contractor. Okay, we want to have lighting. And some of you may realize that is this important or not, since you already have a main light on the ceiling. I would say that it is quite important because when you are cooking, you are chopping and you're washing, right? These top cabinets will block the light from the top. So if I do not switch on these lights, it will be just a black shadow over here, which is not very conducive for sometimes you want to see clearly when you're cooking and whatnot, right? So I think it's quite aesthetic as well. So it's worth considering to put LED lighting below your top cabinets. I think that's a very great solution. And on the shorter L side, this is where we do most of our prep work if we want to like move things and, you know, set up whatever cooking stuff. And over here we have the hot water kettle, the cool water kettle, and the rice cooker. All right, so it's really very simplistic. We do not have like coffee machine. We do not have like water filtration, dispenser and all that stuff. Yeah, because we watched CNA, right, the water dispenser episode, and then they realized that maybe there's a lot of bacteria in the water filtration as well. Yeah, so we go for a very simple, very vanilla solution for water. It's really just a hot water kettle and a cool water kettle. All right, and then this rice cooker from Philips. This is like the very small model. I think it's only like 0.54 liters. It's good for two people lah. Okay, because if you cook for two people, use a large rice cooker, right? It may not be very good because the rice you cook also less, right? So it may burn the bottom if the capacity is too large and then your water is not enough. Okay, all this you will only know when you cook. If you don't cook rice, then maybe this is not important for you. But I guess this rice cooker it serves us well for Philips, and it has a little nice pink line for those of you who like the pink color stuff. And there are a lot of miniature rice cooker out there in the market already, catering more to smaller families. In the past, we used to have like 1.8 liter, 2 liter rice cooker. All these are in a new type of family, maybe not very good for it lah. Like I said, the capacity is smaller. So if you want like a small rice cooker, I think this will do the job, right? From Philips, you can check out my Shopee link if you want to purchase it, or the YouTube shopping page. All right, so moving on. Okay, you realize that we have all very empty. The only thing up here we have some coasters. This is for the hot stuff. Okay, and then the seasoning lah. All this depend on how you want to structure your kitchen. And our kitchen top is made of quartz. All right, so it's like a 12 feet quartz tabletop. All right, we did not choose sintered stone. We chose quartz for cost reasons, as well as the backing is made of quartz as well. So it's very seamless. It doesn't have like an additional block here, you know, to hide the imperfection. The only thing that we have here is the gas pipe. Okay, then the gas pipe, you will need to have that, right? That is from PUB. Yeah, then we have to hide it lah. Okay, then for L-shaped kitchens, I don't really like it. The reason is because there is this dead corner space. And it's not like you can use the internal space here unless, you know, you put like some corner rack or something. Which is why at the bottom, we did not opt for any corner rack solutions. Yeah, so I think that is very important when you're doing kitchen planning, okay? Because for L-shaped kitchen, this is the dilemma lah. Because we cannot use the corner space, right? So you need to have some solutions if you want to maximize your space. For us, it's only 2 persons living in the home right now, so we don't have a lot of stuff, even though we cook daily. Meanwhile, if you want to join the community to discuss about your renovation, the cost, and the best way to pay for it, then join us at over 20,000 members in the Honey Money SG Telegram group. Moving on, let's move on to the bottom cabinets. All right, so under the stove, usually people do drawers lah, but at that time we didn't thought much. Even if you have the drawer, it's only like close to $100 per drawer. If I were to move back time, maybe I would do 2 more drawers here, $200. I think it's very good for convenience. Plus, you know, you can just pull it out. You don't have to like open and then go and search for, you know, all your pots and pans and whatever storage material. Yeah, so if you have the budget to do more drawers, always do more drawers. Maybe I'll highlight this in my Reno Regrets episode lah. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the stove. I think the stove is one of the most important cooking equipment appliance in your home because firstly, it is safety, right? Some of you may want to choose induction, some of you may want to choose gas hobs, right? We chose gas hobs, but on the condition is that because more and more homes are using induction hobs for safety, for cleanliness, right? And sometimes gas hob may not be that safe if you have kids in the house. So what we chosen for this gas hob is that we chose one of the higher end one made in Japan from Rinnai. So this is like their inner burner technology, which I can show you in the B-roll here, right? You see the flames, they are combusted internally. They do not spread out the flames. So it's unlikely that your child or someone who is naughty will put their hands in the flame, right? So that is for safety reason. And the other thing is that they have this super mini flame, which is very good for, you know, slow cooking. You want a small flame, I can adjust it to the lowest level without the flame extinguish out, right? So sometimes if your wind is very large, okay, then you want to have this kind of small flame that is stable, that is safe. Yeah, I'll really recommend this hob, okay, by Rinnai 2CGN with the Scott Syrian glass. All right, so it's like the high spec one. I think it's like $1,000 over, but I think you can get a discount coupon or what and make it around $1,000. All right, so get it on my YouTube shopping/Shopee page. Okay, after the gas stove, we will talk about the hood. All right, so this is the Fujioh hood, also made in Japan, right? So we believe in Japanese technology for both the hood and the hob. Yeah, just want to get a higher end one because we cook like every day. So we want to make sure that it is really up to our standard. The other thing is that for hood, there are a lot of kind of hood: slim hood, chimney hood, slanted hood. If I were to do it again, I would probably recommend a slanted hook because this is quite low and sometimes it's a safety concern lah. You may hit your head and all that stuff. But otherwise, I think this hood serve us well because they have this very clean technology, which is very easy to clean. So I watched one of their introduction videos and was sold on how easy it is to wash, which I'll put the video here lah. It's like you just put in water and they have like this technology that is super simple to wash, unlike when you need to dismantle everything out and then very difficult and very oily, right? Very dirty. I think this one is easier to maintain. So kitchen appliance and equipment, you need to think from a maintenance standpoint instead of an aesthetic standpoint. Even though aesthetics is very important, but over the long term, kitchen is one of the most dirtiest and most maintenance heavy areas that you need to clean. So make sure you choose your appliance very carefully. Yeah, so would I recommend Fujioh? Yes, but maybe I'll go for the slanted hood. But otherwise, if your budget does not allow, I think you get this one also okay. It comes in 4 colors. I forgot the model number, but I'll put it out here lah. So you can go to my YouTube shopping or Shopee page to see whether you want to buy or not. Next up, okay, I want to talk about the distance between the sink and the hob. Alright, so this is around 40 centimeters, which is quite short for us. So I think if you want to do kitchen planning, make sure that this space between the hob and the sink is larger. We had space constraints over there because it's the corner, which is why I say corner kitchens are harder to design. It is best if it is a galley kitchen, which means 2 lines of carpentry cabinets and all that. I think that is easier to design. Yeah, so this is a small regret, but nothing that we can do about it other than we add a sauce rack here. Yeah, this is like a 15 cm sauce rack, which can pull out, okay, and put in back. Is it space saving or not? Definitely not. It is more like everybody have, then you also must have kind of thing. If you ask me again, I would say that this whole space actually can put a lot of stuff on. If you only put 2 layers of sauces, it is quite wasteful of the space. This is my honest review. Alright, so we move on to the sink area. Okay, this sink is around 68 centimeters long, around 45 cm wide, right? So 68 times 45. And we got this sink from Taobao online. Okay, so when you buy sinks, there are a lot of grades. Actually, for sink, there are a lot of calculation going behind it. Okay, but I may not want to go into detail. But you want to know whether you want under mount, you want like flat mount, or you want top mount. Whereas it's under mount, okay, so that you can just clean everything off the sink and then they will not leave any grime. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, it's just hidden away from your eyes. Alright, and then for this tab, you realize that we have something quite different. Many homes already have pull-out tabs right now, and you realize that now we have T-shaped tabs, right? Why is called T-shaped tab? Because when it rotates, it forms a T-shape. Like if I want this is just normal water. If I flip it, it's a waterfall. Then if I do this, it's a high pressure spray. Yeah, so 3 ways you can do it. Okay, we got this from Shopee. Okay, from Malaysia lah, but I'll put the Singapore link here as well. So I think pull-out tabs are very common nowadays really. But if you want like all the Fei Yu, those kind of piano sinks, I think not very good lah. So many regret video have been posted online. Just get a simple faucet like this, gunmetal, you know, very nice color, and it doesn't drop any stain as of now lah, after 6 months, so it's still quite okay. Yeah, so be very careful when you're buying water fittings online lor. For us, we went to the shop in Malaysia to really see, okay, this is the faucet we want, then we go and shop online and get it delivered. So all the water fitting, I tell you, is really harder than all the electrical fitting because we are all exposed to electrical appliances since young, but we may not really think about all the water fittings, which is why I may want to do a water fittings episode. Yeah, so comment water +1 if you want that. Okay, and then you realize that our trash bin is hanging here. Why is it hanging? Because we do not want any trash bins lying on the floor. But you know, hanging here is actually quite good. Save the space plus convenient. Chop your vegetable, just push it over and drop it. Yeah, very convenient. Okay, this one I get for less than $10 on Shopee lah. You can also click on the link if you want to buy it. Alright, so moving on. This is our entry to the service yard already. Service yard, next time then I'll do an episode because I want to talk about washer and dryer specification. Okay, next time lah. Okay, we talk about fridge, refrigerator. So this is a 471 liters Panasonic refrigerator, bottom freezer, top is the normal cooling one. Okay, when you're buying fridge, the most important question is whether you want side-by-side fridge or you want top and bottom fridge. Then for top and bottom fridge, do you want a bottom freezer or a top freezer? Okay, so we went to one of the electronics shop. Okay, then they recommend bottom freezer is because like usually people take things more from the cooling section rather than the freezer section. But that will also depend on how much you cook and what kind of food do you usually cook. So if you store more frozen food, it's better to get a bigger frozen compartment rather than the cooling compartment. Now, why we chose this fridge is very simple. Firstly, it has white color, so it fits the theme, not like all the gray and black fridge. Alright, white color fridge actually not so common nowadays. Secondly, most importantly, it has 3 ticks. 3 ticks means what? Can use climate voucher. Alright, so climate voucher, I'm sure you all know already. So we use our entire climate voucher on this fridge. And thirdly, because it is 3 ticks, it is very energy saving. It costs like $82 per year. So this is the Panasonic, the model number I put right here, 471W. Okay, it's pretty good lah. Like it has all this EcoNavi technology. I also don't know lah. Very energy saving can already. And so far it hasn't given us any problem. Then I can show you the inside is like this. Right? Yeah, so this is how we organize our fridge in Tupperware storage boxes. Yeah, and everything neatly placed. So new homeowners, very important to keep your fridge free of clutter and organized. Then this is the bottom segment. It has multiple drawers, so like the food won't cross-contaminate, which is very good. Yeah, very important to keep those separate. Okay, so this is how you will choose a fridge. Okay, if you want more fridge knowledge, I can share more next time. But you can buy it on Shopee now lah. We bought it at around 1.1K before the climate voucher. Alright, so you can use my Shopee link or YouTube shopping page to check out this fridge right here. White color Panasonic. Alright, so coming back to the entrance and exit way of the kitchen, you realize that this is open concept. So like I said, when we want to do heavy cooking, we will need to close this door. Alright, so this is a synchronized sliding glass door with soft closing. Yeah, so I just need to push it one time and it will just, click to the bottom. Okay, and then we do have bottom tracks. This is all top track. Okay, I think we did this door for around $3,000. Okay, I know that glass door has very large variation in pricing, which is why we got like a few quotes, and this is one of the more reliable and affordable solution. I'll put the links in description for the supplier. Okay, I think they're very good. They just come here and measure one time, and the other time they come and install already. Okay, not much hassle. So synchronized sliding glass door, other than aesthetics, it really has a utility purpose, right? So it fits the theme, white color or black color, depending on what you want. And the very fact is that if you have aircon in the house, right, this one can also block it, right? You want to compartmentalize the kitchen away from the aircon in the living room, so the aircon don't run here and then escape out. Yeah, so this is all very well worth it, $3,000, I guess. If you are into heavy cooking and you still want the open concept space, yeah, just get this door. The only thing is that there will be a gap here, between the fridge and the door, but there's nothing much you can do, lah. Okay. So this is basically my kitchen tour. Other than the lighting, for the lighting wise, you only have one ceiling light, which is around 40 watts. Okay, it's around 80 centimeters by 40 centimeters. Okay, then plus the LED lighting under the top cabinet. So these are the two lighting sources that we have, enough to lead the whole kitchen. It's not very big, right? It's only 3 meters by 2.5 meters. Yeah, so this is how you want to plan your lighting. Make sure that because kitchen is not a resting space, it's a very serious space. So you will need sufficient lighting to make sure you can see what you're cooking, what you're cutting, and what you're preparing, especially for those of you who want to bake, right? You want to make sure your measuring is all accurate. So this is my kitchen tour. Hope it has been helpful to you. I know that it's less of construction and reno and all that stuff. It's more of the appliance and space planning. Yeah, so if you want to watch the renovation part of it, right, you can refer to my previous kitchen video right here, and I'll see you in the next episode.